Magic diabetes medication and herb combo. I'm going to give you the secret to normalizing blood sugar and still enjoying carbs a little bit, right? Well, I'm Dr. Ergen. I'm an endocrinologist. Some people call me diabetes specialist, and I practice in Florida. I'm a Cleveland Clinic trained endocrinologist. I've written 3 books. One is for doctors, 2 is for you, and 1 is for the general diabetes book, which is called the Ultimate Diabetes Book, 500 pages like an encyclopedia. The other one is for your diet, which is Doctor's Guide to Diabetic Diet. You can find them freely for free at sugarmds.com. Are you tired of constantly worrying about your blood sugar levels? Are you tired of feeling restricted in your diet, unable to enjoy your favorite carbs sometimes on a weekend, or some fruits without fear of a spike in the blood sugar? Well, have no fear, my fellow diabetics friends, because I know your life. I'm with you. Because I'm about to reveal the magic diabetes medication and herb combo that will change your life. Well, if you're a carnivore guy who just munch on a steak and a bone all day long, okay, that's your choice. You don't have to hate me. You can go have your life, but I'm here for the normal people who eat normal food. But let's talk about the medications commonly prescribed for diabetes. Let's talk about glipizide, glyburide. Most people take these, especially extended release are the better, early in the morning. I recommend super low dose. You don't want to go the maximum dose like a lot of doctors do. And maybe a metformin a little bit, right? 500 milligram extended release twice a day, that's your max. A lot of people come to me with metformin like 2,000, 3,000 milligram a day. That's way too much. If you can afford Ozempic, I also prescribe Ozempic a lot. First of all, I ask, hey, what's your insurance like? Is that going to be covered? Because I don't want them to curse at me like at the pharmacy saying that, oh, this guy was like trying to make me go bankrupt. But if you can afford it, maybe at 0.25 milligram low dose. Here's a trick for you, by the way. You know how these drugs are so expensive? You can ask your doctor to prescribe you 0.5 milligram, and that will give you twice more medication at the pharmacy. However, you can use 0.25 milligram, and that way the medication will last you twice longer. Now, there you go, 50% discount for you. No problem, you're welcome. And you can use Jardiance 10 milligram. And here's another trick for Jardiance that nobody will tell you. Jardiance comes in 10 and 25 milligram. And if you really want to use that medication, you can ask for 25 milligram and just break in half, use 12.5 milligram. It works just as good as 25 milligram. Again, that's another 50% discount for you. No problem, you're welcome. These medications can be effective in controlling blood sugar levels, but they also come with a laundry of side effects, right, and risks. So if you exceed these doses, I'm telling you, everything can be toxic if taken overdose, even water. I have seen people going into severe hyponatremia, which is very low sodium levels, because they thought the drinking water is good for you. Well, actually, I need to drink some water right now. I'm getting dry and talking too much. But moderation is the key when it comes to medications, especially. Too much medication is not good for you. Just a little bit of everything, as much as you need, of course, not everything, but that's where your secret weapon, is. And also combining integrating it. That's why I call what I do integrative medicine. You are going to integrate these small doses of medications with some herbs, some natural stuff. That's why I created SugarMD Glucodefense and super berberine. These 2 herbs work together to not only lower the blood sugar levels, but also improve the insulin sensitivity and reduce the inflammation in the body. A lot of people are weird about high blood sugar. High blood sugar would not hurt you if it didn't cause inflammation, right? And when you have diabetes, no matter what you do, sometimes you will have blood sugar spikes and you will still have inflammation in your body even if your blood sugar is under control. So people just say, oh, my blood sugar is okay, I'm good. Not necessarily. It's like saying, oh, my bills are paid, I'm good. Well, what about future? What about savings? What are you gonna do about that, right? A lot of people don't think about it, and then later they live in a Social Security. Well, because they didn't think well. In the early ages, they just said, oh, I'm good. Well, No, think now for the future. That's for your health too. Now, when it comes to the side effects, here's a real kicker. When you combine the medications and herbs, your side effects will be much less. You can still enjoy your favorite carb-filled foods, not healthy carbs, I'm not saying go eat donuts here, while taking these herbs combined with the medications, if you still need medications, of course. Some of my patients are only taking my supplements or some supplements, whatever. It doesn't have to be mine, by the way. You know, when I talk about berberine, if you find berberine somewhere cheaper, I cannot guarantee the quality, but if you can all you can afford, some people say, oh, your stuff is expensive. Well, our stuff is not expensive. Our stuff is higher quality. It's like buying shoes. You don't go to a store and say, oh, well, your shoes are expensive. Okay, well, then, no, you can buy something cheaper, but it's not going to be the same quality, right? So you don't have to give up your healthy carbs, also vegetables and fruits. You know, a lot of people will say simply, you know, if you don't have money, don't go to the grocery store. If you don't have money, don't go out for dinner. Or if you don't have money, don't buy a car. That's a solution that an idiot will give you. Same thing with some so-called doctors who are not really endocrinologists or diabetes specialists, happens to be a primary care somewhere in a rural area, have nothing else to do but doing videos, or somebody, a chiropractor who has no training whatsoever about diabetes, will just say,
oh, well, no, sugar raises your blood sugar, so don't eat sugar. The fruits have sugar, eggplant have sugar, so don't eat any of that.
well, how idiotic is that? Well, think about it. If you believe in God, do you believe in nature? So even if you believe in God or nature, they brought these for human beings for a reason. It's good for you. Just because your pancreas is not doing a great job anymore doesn't mean that you just give up on it. Like, just because you make less money doesn't mean that you just sit home and just be depressed. You know, you can find ways to still enjoy your life. Same thing with what I'm trying to do here for you. Follow the recommended dosages on the supplements. Typically, you know, don't exceed those. You will see good results after the use of a few months. Like I said, when herbs are not enough, you know, sometimes taking a little bit of a medication, it could be glyburide, it could be metformin, it could be Ozempic, Jardiance, and voila, you're back to normal without much problems. Just remember, the recommended dosages should not be exceeded, especially with the medications. If the pharmaceutical company is telling you can take 2 milligrams, I would say take 1/4 of that to prevent side effects. I have had so many patients from Ozempic ending up in the hospital just because we increased their dose. Experience built up. I have treated tens of thousands of patients, and I have more experience than any other endocrinologist at my age. Why? Because I see 2 to 3 times more patients, work day and night, you know, trying to save the world, I guess. It's not going to happen, but it's what I like. So, you know, the issue with the medications is that, you know, really doctors often have this tendency to say just, oh, well, keep going up on the medication. Same thing with the insulin. People come to me like, they said, oh, doctor says start with 10 units and go up. Now, how much are you taking? I'm like, 200 units. I'm like, what? Are you nuts? Why did you do that? It's like having a toddler who love mashed potatoes and cannot stop eating. Don't do that for your medications. But then you start shoving the mashed potatoes. Let's say your mom says, oh, you love mashed potatoes? Okay, keep eating, keep eating. That's what the doctors do. And then what happens? Well, soon enough, that toddler is going to despise even that side of the mashed potatoes. That's why people hate medications so much. The same principle applies to diabetes medications, just higher and higher and higher dosages prescribed until your body just cannot take it anymore, and then you end up hating it altogether. This constant increase doesn't really solve the root cause problems and often just leads to frustration and cascade of side effects. This is why I believe in this balanced approach of low-dose medications, and if needed, combined with powerful herbs, or the vice versa. Start with the natural herbs, and if needed, add some medications. And guess what? You're going to be healthier and happier. While it may be tempting to increase your dosage of diabetes medications, you know, they say, oh, well, my insurance already covers it. Let's just keep going up on this dose. This can actually do more harm than good. Just think about what you're doing. Maximizing the dose of medications can lead to toxicity in the body. Again, a lot of side effects happen from that excessive usage and potentially devastating your health. So, like I said, if you can afford herbs, I know insurance doesn't cover the herbs, but if you can combine with the medications, you will have much better success if you have to take medications. The worst thing you can do though, letting it go, saying that, oh, I'm gonna be on this keto diet, carnivore diet, and then you go on it for a couple of weeks and you're like, oh, that's disgusting, and you go back to your routine, and next thing you know, you're back to zero, your A1C is high, you have neuropathy, you have eye disease, you have kidney disease. Not worth it. Use SugarMD Glucodefense, super berberine to manage your blood sugar without the risk of toxicity, because herbs, let's think about it. Herbs are not going to toxicate you unless you take excessive amount. And you cannot take excessive amount, something that comes in a capsule, because these are herbs, you know. If a medication, you know, medications are specially formulated in the lab, and a little tiny bit of it sometimes can kill you. And sometimes 1 milligram of a medication can be too much compared to 100 milligram of another medication. So you also don't go by the exact milligram of the medications. You go by the starting dose and the maximum dose. Never exceed the middle dose, okay? So if somebody is telling you that the maximum dose is 200 milligram on this medication, do not exceed the 50 milligram. That's my advice to you. Sometimes you have to combine things, combine medications or other herbs with it, and next thing you know, you're doing great. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something today. And please let us know about your experience, about how medications, high dose did affect you, and how herbs helped you. You want to know about this, write in the comment section below. Give a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this channel so far, and I hope you subscribed already. If you didn't, do it. And if you did, watch this video right there. I think that will help you too.